Hey guys, welcome to Lorley's Plastic Kitchen. I'm Lorley, so come on in. Hey guys, welcome to Lorley's Plastic Kitchen. And today in my kitchen, I'm going to be making my version of a flatbread. What's nice about this recipe is it's going to be easy and not very many ingredients. Now come on in. You're going to be wanting 1 cup of warm water, 2 teaspoons of yeast. Right here we have 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, plus 1 teaspoon of salt. And we also gonna need 3 cups of flour. So now, like I tell you with any of my bread recipes, what you're gonna wanna do first is make sure your yeast is alive and active and well. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that tablespoon of sugar and I'm gonna put a little bit in the water with it as well, just so the yeast can feed off of that. Now I'm gonna add my yeast and I'm gonna wait a couple minutes to make sure my yeast is alive and active. Now that we know our yeast is alive and active, here's how it's gonna look, all foamy and bubbly. So once we have that, I wanna take my KitchenAid mixer and see the paddle on it. I don't have the dough hook on this one because for this recipe, I do like using the paddle. It mixes it better. For some reason, it just incorporates it better for me. So now I'm gonna take my yeast and my water and dump it in. Dump, I say. Then I'm gonna take the remaining sugar and dump that in as well. The salt and baking soda and my oil. Now I'm gonna take my 3 cups of flour. So now that I have all the ingredients in there, I'm just gonna give it a quick mix, just till everything's combined, to make sure you have enough water and everything gets incorporated. What's nice about this recipe is that you can make like sandwiches or wraps out of it. You can also make like pizzas for the kids or yourself, easy pizzas once it's done. But once this pita bread is done, you can use it for a variety of things. Here, see how it's pulling away from the side and how it incorporated? So once you're at this stage, you're gonna wanna bump it up a little bit and just kind of knead it for about 3 minutes. Now that we're done mixing it, see how it's all pulled away from the side? I'm gonna take it off of my stand and just kind of form it into a little ball. Maybe give it a few slaps. Then you're gonna take some oil, put some on the bottom and roll it upside down, and then take it and rub it with your hands. And I do this because that way when it's rising, it doesn't stick and it doesn't get like all crusty or anything like that. So we're just gonna let this rise for about a half an hour, and then we're gonna cover it with either a saran wrap or film or a dish towel. And you wanna take it and place it in a draft-free area. And I usually stick mine in the microwave. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll see you after I do it. Alrighty, now that it's been about a half hour, see how it rose? We don't want it too grande. Now you're gonna just wanna flatten it out just to get the little air bubbles out. And then you're gonna wanna cut it into even pieces. Just eyeball it. Guys, I know things are complicated at life in general, but you don't have to make cooking complicated. Just do your best. I'm a stay-at-home mom that grew up with parents that were great cooks, and I just learned and doing things on my own because I want to make sure my kids have food that I know what's going into it. So just take that little extra time and make these things. I know it's easier to go buy something store-bought, but it tastes much better when it's homemade from the heart. So you guys you don't have to make everything too difficult. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take these pieces and form like little balls with them. And I just kind of take it and roll it on the counter. And then place it off to the side. And then here I am gonna do it again. Take the piece, kind of fold it in to the center, just like if you were gonna make a roll. And then you're gonna roll it with your hand. Now these, like I said, these are great for just anything. Alrighty, now that I'm gonna finish forming my balls, after that's done, I'll show you the next step. I finished my dough balls. They're gonna look like this. Nothing fancy. You can also make them any size you want. If you want to weigh them on a scale and make them even, you can do that as well. But I'm just gonna do it like this. Not everything needs to be perfect. Once I have all these done, I'm gonna cover it with a dishcloth, or you can cover it also with saran wrap, and then I'm gonna let it rest for about 15 and 20 minutes. That way, when your gluten is rested, it's easier for you to roll out. So I'm gonna do that. So during this time, as they're resting, make sure you're gonna have a preheated pan. That way it's nice and hot for when you go and roll them out and put them on there. Now that our dough is resting, it's been about 15 minutes. You're gonna uncover it. See how it rose already? And I have a bowl of flour for the side, and you're just gonna wanna place a little bit down, not too much, just enough so it won't stick. And then you're gonna roll it out, kind of like a tortilla. Depending on how thick you want them, you can make them thinner, or you can make some thicker. You're just gonna wanna take it and roll it out. Now once you got it rolled out, you're going to want to place it on your warm pan. Once you see the bubbles like that, you're going to flip it. Now you can take a spatula at that point, but my fingertips are already numb from this process. No, I usually make tortillas and stuff, so I just flip it with my fingers. But you can use a spatula for that. And see how it is? See how it puffs up a little bit? And like I said, depending on how much or how big you want it, you're gonna make the balls the size that you want it. This is a littler one, but it's up to you. See the back? See how nice it is? And they cook real fast. And then I'm gonna place them in the same towel and cover them just so the air and moisture won't get them. So I'm gonna finish rolling these out and I'll see you after. Okay, now that we got our pitas done, this is how they're gonna look. And I just gave you some ideas on what you're gonna eat them with. I have pitas and I cut them up for my hummus recipe. Now, if you guys wanna know that recipe, I'll go ahead and link it in the description box down below. And right here we also have, my son made a chicken salad with some avocados, but see how nice and fluffy they are? And look at how many you guys are gonna get from just that recipe. There's so many pitas here. Store them in a plastic bag and you don't even have to go to the store. As long as it takes you to go to the store, you'll have them made. And plus, they're tastier. So we're gonna go ahead and eat these. Chris, you wanna go first?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna eat mine anyways.
It's really good.
Let me taste it. Sorry, I'm over here eating. Well, he's not stopping to eat. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Lauralee's Classic Kitchen for more of these recipes. Have a blessed day, and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye!